Hi, just a quick update on the death's head hawk moth larvae. A lot of them have reached L5 now. I did forget to say in my last video about the curve of the larvae. When they reach L5 and they're ready to pupate, they will go this like a dirty orange colour, and then they'll have a final sloppy poop, a sloppy frass. That's nothing to worry about, that's normal. Obviously in younger ones, if you get sloppy poop, it will mean that they've got some kind of virus or bacterial infection. You'll hear them charging about, they're looking for somewhere to, they want to head downwards into some kind of substrate or whatever. Yeah, so I've got about 6 that are looking around. Now normally I advise that you house them separately in a little tub of their own so they don't disturb each other while they're changing. I just use butter tubs if I'm going to house them singly. Because I've kept so many at once though, it's hard to find space for like say 100 or 200 tubs or whatever. So I have in the past put a few of them together. I've maybe put 3 or 4 in a tub like this, and I haven't had any ill effects on them. I was just advised when I first started up, I was advised that they can disturb each other, so house them singly. I at least put, if I'm going to put a few in the same tub, put them in at the same time. Don't add any later on when they're part way through the pupal stage, because putting a new caterpillar in will disturb them. Normally I use coconut fibre, but I've had to use all what I had up on my beetles, so I've not tried this before, but I'm going to try the substrate that I used for my beetles that I'd collected. I'm only going to use it for 1 larvae because inevitably there will be slugs and millipedes in it. Now it's been fine for the beetles to pupate in, but with caterpillars being very soft bodied, just a bit worried. So the other method I use is just use a lot of it's like kitchen roll. It's called, we call it blue roll. It's used in for cleaning purposes in many industries, just like a giant toilet roll really. You can use kitchen roll or whatever. In both types, and the coconut fibre, I'll give them 10 days, then dig them up and put them in the emergence cage. Both the emergence cages are being taken up at the minute. But hopefully by the time I've got some emerging, all the caterpillars will have changed anyway, so there won't be any caterpillars in these. The largest ones I've been keeping in the, most of them anyway. Sometimes it's just impossible to separate them if they're all on the same twig. As well, with the orangey colour, even with the brown ones, you will be able to tell. This one's not changing yet. This one though, I suspect he's on the verge. He's going a little bit of a different colour to the dark brown over there. So he's getting an orange, bit of an orange tinge. He's not started charging around though yet. The other thing I forgot to mention on my last video was the importance of when you're feeding them, changing them, only put dry leaves in. They mustn't even be damp. It can be painstaking to clean every leaf, so I advise that you collect it a few hours before you need it. Put it somewhere warm so that most of the water will evaporate off by itself, and then when you come to feed them. There may be the odd drop or 2 of water, but just sponge it off, make sure it's dry, because they do get sick if they eat wet leaves. I don't understand why, because obviously it rains in the wild, but there you go. So I've been cleaning these out. As you can see, it's a bit of a game of kaplunk. You just have to tease them out best you can. It's quite hard really, because sometimes you have a caterpillar stretched across 3 twigs and they're attached by another caterpillar, and I just do it while I'm watching telly. You know, same with the leaves, just dry them off while you're watching the telly. It's better that you take the time than get up the next day and find there's a few dead in the bottom, and then you're trying to stem the tide of the bacterial infection. So I'm going to carry on with this now and get the pupating ones out and put them in the tubs. I'll just show you, but I don't think I could show you last time, could I? Because I didn't have any L5s at the time, but so I'm just trying to put a light in so you can see a bit better. You can see how big they get. There's a lovely big L5 there. There you go, you can see how big they are. He's off. Just give him this tub. Go on, matey. Go and bury yourself. They can spend a couple of days, even with when they go into the soil. They'll spend a couple of days still charging around. Sometimes they settle down more quickly than that, but they will eventually. Might put them a bit of kitchen rolling on top as well. The substrate's a bit damper than I wanted really, but yeah, I'm going to put some kitchen roll in as well. So it soaks some of it up, I suppose. Night night. I just put a couple of bare rolls in, not too many, because they need to keep that humidity so they don't dry out in there. So it'll be, see him in 10 days. Don't forget to label your tubs as well, because you will forget if you've got quite a few tubs when they went down. So just to avoid digging them out before it's time. So just put how many you've put in and put the date on.